Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Stream Deck? My other buttons aren't working now? Oh, man. What am I doing? What am I doing, chat? Fucking hell. It really is, and it's always something fresh. Apparently, I think it does it just to spite me. Because I reached over fully expecting that one button to work, and I reinstalled the plugin, and it even worked earlier today, and I'm thinking, it's the multimedia buttons that won't work, and why do I have a Stream Deck? Why do I have a Stream Deck at this point? Why? Why did it work so well for like 2 years, and then one day OBS is like, you know that major product that integrates with our product that a ton of streamers use? Fuck all those people. Just fuck them. Oh, not feeling terribly loved. Thankfully, I'm feeling a little bit of love from White Wolf, hitting that 29-month streak with some of them Bezos bucks. Thank you so much for the sub, White Wolf. Welcome in. Destroyer of working buttons, if it was you. I'm irritated. I'm irritated. I am. Been hearing the streamers are moving away from OBS. I mean, at this point, I'm starting to wonder, for the first time in like 2 years, it has occurred to me, maybe fuck OBS and maybe do something else. It's not the only choice out there. It's one of the most major choices out there. But I'm getting very frustrated by it at this point. I have become very, very reliant on my Stream Deck. It's a simple device that makes this very, very easy to do using transitions and everything, and it's just like every fucking stream it's finding a new way to be like, here's something else that doesn't work. I anticipate I'm gonna push the button to go to the next scene, and it's just not gonna do anything. That's what I'm anticipating at this point. I'm just gonna be doing everything manually tonight, at which point I might as well not have it. Actually, you know, it's still a good device, because I can use it for things that aren't OBS. It's just like a really nice series of custom backlit buttons, but this is its primary purpose. Desert Owl. Thank you so much for the welcome back, and thank you for the subscription. Oh my god, thank you for your support. How you doing, Desert Owl? It's good to see you in, man. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. We are going to be finishing up doing the broken rebar in our busted up Jersey barriers. We're going to be finishing up detailing our Cyberpunk bases. I'm going to try to get my minis actually attached to the bases so we can start painting them. And then I think the next step on the Jersey barriers is just going to be me trying to freehand some graffiti. We'll see if we get to that. I'm hoping to get all the minis based tonight, though, at the very least. I like doing bases before I paint the minis. I like doing bases completely and then attaching the minis to them and then painting the minis. I think it's just because I like painting the bases while having complete and total free access to every detail on them. And then once I've done the mini, like, you know, I can get a little bit of paint on the base and I don't mind so much. Oh my god, that's right, there is a shout-out command now. Look at that. Official Twitch integration. Merlin Models, how you doing today, man? Am I controlled by the Stream Deck? I hope not, because I won't get anything done. Because apparently it doesn't fucking work. I'm not controlled by the Stream Deck, Merlin. I am frustrated by the Stream Deck. These are two distinct, but arguably similar things. I don't know if I can do that, Roland. I don't know if anybody can eat a cherry tomato like John Noble did. That's a tall order. Broke your almost 7-year prohibition against... Why do you have a 7-year prohibition against watching the Lord of the Rings movies? Roland, what are you talking about, man? Those movies are amazing. They're incredible. Everybody loves them, except the people who don't, and fuck those people. Unless you're one of them, in which case I respect your opinion, but also... come on. They're great movies. Peter Jackson knocked it out of the park. Getting ready in a few weeks to head to San Antonio for a weekend. Gonna escape life with Cookie. That should be nice. I literally just did that in San Antonio, no less. at least in a few weeks, it should be slightly under 90 degrees. I was not a fan of that. But then you guys are coming from someplace hot anyway, as I understand it. So I think you should be okay. I was coming from the middle of Colorado, and we were just getting down into the 70s. And I was like, you know what it needs to be? 90 degrees and humid. I really thought that went out well, obviously. Bear with me while I finish my apple here. Sorry. I kind of got back into the house a little bit late, so I'm just kind of rushing to the paint desk to try to get some stuff done tonight. Winter is indeed coming, and not a moment too soon. Weird thing I found out is that with Nightbot, you can do as many shoutouts as the short cooldown will allow. With Twitches, you can't do them close together. Huh. So it might be sort of a too little, too late integration. On the other hand, if they will just integrate the features that I use a bot for, so I can stop operating a separate bot, that would be pretty cool. I'd be into that. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Roland. I could understand that. They're wonderful movies, though, and you know, I can't speak to the particular situation or to your feelings, of course. Those are entirely your own, but I have personally found things like that, while painful for a while, can eventually be a nice way to remember a person. Fondly. With the things that they enjoyed and that connected you. Hey PSK, how you doing? So, I'm doing it. I'm doing it, chat. I'm getting out there. I'm ready to be hurt again. In a very narrow, very nerdy sense. I'm, actively seeking local role-playing groups who are looking for players just because I want to be in a room with people rolling dice again on a semi-regular basis. God, like, getting back into gaming and moving where I did right before the pandemic happened, like, it just put such a fucking... I was starting to get out there. I had moved here, I was starting to integrate with the local gaming community, I was starting to get out there, I went to a gaming convention, I went to a few local gaming stores, and... well, bam! Pandemic. And I'm just like, okay, I guess I'm inside for a while. In-person gaming pretty much died out, and, It's been back for a little bit, and it's weird. Like it's hard to describe the feeling. I have become just like a vile homebody, I think, and I'm like, I have to get used to the idea of in-person gaming again, and it's so fucking... not that I haven't done any, I've done some with like friends and whatnot, but as far as integrating with local gaming communities, going to stores, I am essentially a hermit. I'm some kind of weird country dirt wizard at this point. I need to grow my beard out and have birds nest in it, and then the look will be complete. So I'm actively seeking groups at this point and trying to meet some new people and roll some dice, and hopefully that goes well. I mean, obviously, hopefully it goes well, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it goes. I was just talking to Sumitha. How you doing, man? I was just talking to Justicard, realizing that he also lives near us, Sumitha. And I asked Justicar, I was like, so where the fuck do you game? And he gave me the name of a few local gaming stores, so I'm like, I'm just trying to get out there and see what people are playing. I've got a bunch of games, so, you know, in theory, I should be able to get into almost anything. I've got 40k, I've got Kill Team. I don't have any Age of Sigmar. That's the one game I have no models for. Oh my god, excuse me. You know, I got a ton of different war games if people want to try them out with me. I got Warcaster. I think, Roland, I personally think more Tom Bombadil, but I don't sing as well. Nor am I, you know, married to the daughter of the river. Why? I also don't think that I could comfortably put on the ring and just be fine afterwards. That seems to be the detail that gets danced over the most, and yet is possibly the most upsetting. Radagast is more of a country tree mage. Yes, it's important to define these things. Painting in person every Thursday massively up my ability to manage day-to-day. Yeah, just, I I think it was getting out of the house and getting down to Texas and seeing friends. I was like, I remember this. I remember people. I remember having friends. I should probably try to do this on a somewhat regular basis. Probably. I will say that this stream has kept me fucking alive through the pandemic. If I had had no socialization whatsoever, I would have just exploded. That would have been horrible. I'm sorry about that, Roland. Hopefully it doesn't get too bad, man. Take care of yourself. Make sure you do everything you need to do. Stay in. Monitor everything. And hopefully it doesn't get too bad. It seems to affect everybody kind of a little bit differently, depending on... And hopefully you're vaccinated and boosted. If that's the case, it probably won't get too bad. Yeah, a mild nuisance in that case. DFW Dwegcom, welcome in. Nash's Workshop, good to see you. Baby man got some kind of upper respiratory infection, so no one's sleeping. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's terrible. That's never a good thing. I hope everything goes well. Having a bad one too, huh, Dwegom? It seems like it's hitting everybody. I mean, I don't know exactly what's going on with you, but hopefully nothing terrible. Use that to paint with your 7 days of quarantine. There you go. That's finding that silver lining. That's what it's all about. Might be a hernia. God damn. Why is everybody breaking themselves and getting sick? What's going on? Is this just like a fall thing? Lance for a new Merc unit. Riders of Rohan. Ooh, do them with like the helms and then like green cloaks, you know? Do like some of those stylized Celtic horses. That could be pretty fucking cool. I could see that working out. And as I mentioned, because obviously guys, what I need in my life is more minis to paint. I will say that I've started looking closer at Infinity just because I'm curious about it, and there are some local players I found out, which for me was kind of the turning point where I was like, fine, I'll get some models. Looking at the model counts for Infinity, I was kind of surprised to find them as low as they were, which is also nice, because as long as it's not adding a lot of models to the log, I'm like, okay, then I could do them kind of individually, and that's fine. I started looking into the factions. Thank you, by the way, to everybody who posted information on the Discord for me. I found... What did I say? White Wolf, what box did I say I bought? I forgot it now. It was like Operation Butcher Blood. That's not right. It was B something, though. It's the one that has... Crimson Stone. There we go. I was thinking red. Operation Crimson Stone. It's the one that has Ariadna, who I understand are basically just like a bunch of like backwoods space hicks protecting a planet that they got marooned on for a long time. So they're like real guerrilla fighters and whatnot. They look kind of cool. And I guess they also have access to werewolves? I didn't completely get into the lore on that front, but I saw what looked like werewolves, and I was like, you know what? I'll deal with that later. And the other faction is Nomads, who seem pretty cool. They're very cyberpunky. I like the design of them a lot. So I'm gonna be painting them up, probably using these bases that I'm also doing for my cyberpunk stuff and giving that game a try. I'm sorry to hear that, Machine God. Hopefully not too bad. I'm gonna try one of the two-player starters, Merlin. I'm gonna try the Code 1 two-player starter, and I figure for $100 I can afford to be wrong. I'll paint it up, play it. If I don't like it, I'll put the models on my display shelf, I'll move the hell on. Hey, Retio Santi, welcome in, man. Operation Butcher Block. US and Scott's group, they got cut off. That explains why one of the units in the box I bought appears to actually be William Wallace. At least the paint job they did on him. And here's a question, too. I don't know anything about the Infinity, like, community or standards or culture. Do people paint their Infinity models with their own... I assume that they do, but is it common for people to paint Infinity models with their own color schemes, their own unique color schemes, or is it more common to just, like, do your version of the box art? Because with the way that the game is designed and the specific name characters, my first thought is I'm just going to do box art. Because it seems like they're meant to be specific people. He's literally William Wallace. I mean, William Wallace is already dead now, and this game is in the future, so something isn't computing there. Feel free to help me out. Most of our local players roll their own. It's an even split between studio paint schemes and personal. Mine are red and orange because I heart orange. That's fair enough. I may end up just doing box art for them. Just because that's easy, you know? Oh, he's a clone. They clone historic figures. I didn't know that. That's a thing that Ariadna does? They clone historical figures? Or does everybody do that? I gathered that cloning was a major part of the setting, because there in the beginning, the whole foundation of Yujing was that they located the bloodlines for multiple ancient Chinese dynasties, and essentially cloned themselves a new perfect emperor to bring everybody together culturally, which I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Time travel shenanigans? Thankfully not. At least not so far. I guess there are wormholes. I don't fully understand the Infinity setting yet. I'm gonna give myself a break on that one, because it seems like there's a lot of bullshit going on. Ariadna has murder wolves as well as space bears. Yeah, I saw, like, the werewolf characters, and I was like, okay. Whatever, guys. We can do that. Oh, shit, Sumitha, no, I completely forgot. I'm sorry. I got busy with everything that was going on this month, and I did not get to that. If you would do me a favor and ping me on Discord and remind me, I'll get that. I'll take a look at that for you. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, Ariadna doesn't seem like they have access to that much. Tech-wise, their whole thing is they're making do with whatever the hell they've got on that one shitty planet. Crystal bases, yes. Yes. DFW Dwegham, I will have the ones that you need for you by the end of the month. They probably won't be released for retail till after that, because I need to add some more to them, but I will have the ones that you need for, the Leagues of Votan done by then. No problem, man. I've already done most of the work. They're going to be slightly different from the ones that I did, because I want to make some changes based on having printed them and used them a little bit. I think yours will be better. A nice hearty goulash. That sounds nice, Sandershade. Yeah, I think in broad strokes I gathered that Aleph seems like they're the most technologically advanced, and they're just sort of like hyper-tech, government control, guided progress for humanity, is what Aleph is, and then the Nomads are like, fuck the police. Smash the state. Rip the system. Which is why I'm definitely going to paint the Nomads. Dude, air fryers are awesome. We just got the air fryer top that you can put on an Instant Pot. It's amazing. It's incredible. And it's just an attachment for the Instant Pot, which I already love having. There's wolf-like aliens, and if bitten, you become a were-alien. I confess, I thought the Infinity setting was more serious before I started reading about it. And now I'm like, it seems really tongue-in-cheek. Like, there's a lot of cutesy bullshit going on underneath the sort of, like, cyberpunk outer shell. I have to say, I also do like the look of the Hak Islam figures. I didn't read up much on their playstyle, except that they're a bunch of irregulars, but I really like the designs of them. They're very cool sculpts. But I'm going to use this box to determine whether or not I continue with the setting or with any of it. Because it's Man, metal models. Again? Why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep doing this to myself? I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna judge them based on the quality of the models in this box. I don't love metal models, you guys know this, but I have built and painted a lot of them. I think I can manage it. We'll see how bad it is. I think the worst thing metal models can do is when they have a really, like, an action pose, and there's a character that's, like, leaping, and they have just their toes touching the ground. Like, I hate when they do that. Because I have to drill a pin up through the bottom of their foot and into their calf and pin them all the way down through the base, because I don't use those little metal tab bases. I mean, I guess I could, but I don't want to. Senor Massacre. Okay. I can look up that. Now, the Nomads are the ones that have access to the one Psyocast unit so far, right? It's like a spider bot thing with, like, treads on its feet, and I'm pretty sure that that is in the Psyocast resin. Are they intending to transition the whole line to Psyocast? Is that something they're actively trying to do? Struggling to find a good color mix for your Zaku frame. Ooh, I'll be interested to see what you come up with, Xander Shade. Common trick Infinity people use instead of snapping off the tab is use it to make a pin. Ah, that makes sense. Cyberpunk RED hood looking motherfucker. He sounds like my kind of guy. At present, Corvus Belli is swapping tags and remotes over to Psyocast. Alright, so it's they are starting with the easiest, chunkiest ones to get done in Psyocast, and then in theory they'll continue down into doing infantry models. I really hope they will, because I'm willing to play the game. I'm willing to play the game for a little while, but metal models. Why the metal models? Fate hates me. If you're gonna do metal models, like, the least you can do is give me big, like, chunky feet. You know? Lots of surface contact, but they don't want to do that either. Love the rules and gameplay. That's the best thing I've heard about it. Everybody says the rules are really good. Everybody says the rules are really complicated. From what I've seen, that's accurate. I've watched some, like, Let's Plays of it. I guess Code 1 is the simplified version. Obviously, I'm going to start there. I'm just going to kind of try it out and see what I think, because right now I don't have an accurate view of the game to tell whether I like it or not. I figure for $100 I can afford to be wrong. For $100 I can paint up 14 models and play the game a few times and then decide whether or not I want to mess with it. The ones where they can save money on metal and allow them to learn the methods with Psyocast as they go. I wouldn't imagine, like, well, the methods are not terribly complicated, so hopefully they like it well enough that they go ahead and accelerate on into the process. Now I'm going to push this button, it's not going to work. Wait, let's see. Here we go. Fucking nothing happened. I'm not crazy, am I? Like, you understand the frustration that let's just do it manually. Let's do it awkwardly and manually, because my equipment is just like, I'm gonna stop working between streams for no good reason. The button did work. It killed your joy for a moment. That's obviously what it was intended to do. Alright, let's do this.
Alright, locusts and gentlemen,
oh, what the
get
fuck?
ready to feast your eyes.
This is just chaos. Absolute chaos today. At least my camera's on, that's something. Aristea, Corvus Belli's Arena battle game, has Psyocast minis. I have a weird aversion to arena or sports style games. I don't know why. It kind of seems to just be thematic, because the actual gameplay is often perfectly fine and not even really that different from most skirmish games. It's just thematically arena games. I'm like, I don't know. They don't appeal to me. It's the models that kill my hobby boner. If your hobby boner lasts for longer than 6 months, consult Games Workshop. Alright, yeah, we got a little bit more dry brushing to do. And a little not so dry brushing to get to as well. I'm going to pick a few more interesting colors to go on these bases now that we got our asphalt and our concrete worked out. I mean, like, I know a lot of people don't care that much about the lore of any given game as long as the models look cool and they like the rules and whatnot, but, like, the lore and setting of any given tabletop game is a huge part of my enjoyment of it. Are these bases available on Steel Warrior? They will be in the near future. I need to... This was the first set of them. I wanted to get them done to prove to myself that all the textures were good and everything was paintable, and now I just need to take these, I just need to put them on the rest of the different base sizes for both lipped and beveled, and once that's done, they'll be available through Steel Warrior. I would anticipate next month. They came out nice, though. I'm really happy with them. I like the difference of the texture between the concrete and the asphalt. I think that actually worked out well. I'm going to be doing some acrylic painting today, so let me get my wet palette ready, and we'll go ahead and get started. Do I want some lore dumps? Well, not right now, but I tell you what, on Discord I could probably use a few. This isn't sized yet, is it? It kind of is. It's just a little too big. Well, copper has antimicrobial and antibacterial properties and can help stave off mold. You need pennies before a certain year, because after that, they had no actual copper content. A lot of wet palette manufacturers these days just go ahead and include, like, thin copper sheeting, which works really well. I was gonna guess earlier than that, but I assume you looked it up online, so... Of course, this sponge is a little funky already. This is probably the last time I'm going to use it. Don't let your sponges sit too long, guys. Let's get you nice and saturated there, buddy. Yeah, we're having some fun with Shrinky Dinks. Random piece of detritus, that's inspiring. Hey, Hamburg Tack, welcome in. How you doing today, man? Wonderful to see you as always. Yeah, this is gonna take a trim. That's okay. Let's go ahead and trim it from here. I actually have a template that is the perfect size that I usually use to cut these, and I'll cut a few of them at a time, and I just haven't, so I'm making do today with old-fashioned cut to fit. A little more. To Square, good to see you too. Oh, thank you for reminding me, White Wolf. It's, I need to print the final testers for it to fit on my desk to make sure that it fits the various size tubes that I have. It's really not very complicated, and I'll be happy to shoot you the files over. And yeah, I do need to do that, because that's going to save me actually quite a lot of desk space. There, that'll do. That'll do. Yeah, it's amazing how quick they multiply, isn't it? Well, I guess I could have turned on my palette cam today, but I think I forgot. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. We're not doing anything complicated. Well, my practical prints are almost always just things that go up on Thingiverse, so you guys are more than welcome to them. Might as well put the rest of this water in my squeezy bottle. Dwegham, thank you kindly for the reminder. I don't think I have an account there, White Wolf. I could certainly put one up. Step files are really nice. And could make a difference when it comes to things like, well, because I make all my stuff sort of bespoke to fit my office space, which always makes it a little bit awkward going to other people. But yeah, with a step file, I guess you could make the necessary modifications to your individual office needs. Why don't I have a lighter here? You go over there. Okay. To start off with today, I need kind of a dark reddish brown. I think we're going to go with Scale Colors brown leather. I'm kind of trying to use these up. Actually, have I got a sienna? That might be better. Because I don't want to layer this a lot or anything. Got a dark umber. Got a mahogany. That's not bad, but I'm looking for a sienna, and I thought I had a Pro Acryl sienna. Light umber doesn't help me. I would swear that I did. I've got a little more Pro Acryl over here that I haven't put on the rack. Let me see. Yeah, burnt sienna. There we go. That's a good pick. Warble, warble, warble. Cookie Mama, how you doing tonight? So this is a thing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the sub, hitting that 9-month mark. Welcome, welcome, welcome in. I think for this rebar, we're gonna do mahogany, burnt sienna, maybe a touch of like an orange, and then a quick dry brush. with sort of a cool gray, and that should give sort of a rusted rebar look. I think. We're going to try it on one of them, see how we like it, and we might cut a step out because it's probably one step too many. Stoneless B, thank you so much for the resub. 3 glorious months. How you doing today, B? I literally just shook this already, and I'm shaking it again. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, this isn't open yet. I haven't used it. Sealed for your protection. Ah, damn, you know, honestly, I think I'm gonna skip mahogany. I'm gonna go right to the sienna. I think it's just me wasting time to do another layer for something that's this simple. We're just gonna do some sienna, and if I need to darken anything, I'll do it with a wash. We're going right to it. Fuck it. Xander Shade, holy moly! Tossing out 5 gift subs. Happy Sunday to... That's not even a thing. Happy Sunday is not a thing. We're just saying words at this point. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Xander Shade, thank you so much for the gift subs, man. Hidden Punishment 9, Techno Sugar, Voxel Forge, Guyver Ice, and the ever-present, ever-wonderful Merlin models. Thank you for your generosity, Xander Shade. To Square, I'll go ahead and put those biddies right in my pocket. Thanks, man. You know what I'll do? I'll take that. You know what those bits are? They're right there, and they're right there. They're providing minor antimicrobial benefits to my wet palette. That's what's happening. That's a good brush. You want to beat Hamburg and gift subs, man. That's that is a tall order. That man's out of his mind. A couple drops of water to thin with. This has been an interesting year. It's been a very interesting year for me. It seems like it has been for a whole lot of people. I appreciate y'all who have stuck with the stream through this year, because it's been, and I've said this before, it's been weirdly one of my least productive painting-wise for a little while. The year before was much better, but we're going to see what we can't get out of 2023. It's been, you know, picking up a lot of new skills this year, which kind of slows you down. I guess I've made a lot of 3D files. That's got to be worth something. You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough, White Wolf. I'll take it. Alright, let me try doing it with mahogany first. See if it's worth the extra effort. Dwegholm, have a fantastic evening. Thanks for stopping in and saying hi. I hope things go better for you, man. I hope it doesn't turn out too bad. Take it easy on yourself. Sleep well, and hopefully we'll see you again soon, alright? kind of slopping this on the concrete around it too, because I figure if this is rust, it will have probably stained the concrete. And yeah, I do think it's worth the extra step of doing the mahogany, and then the quick highlight with the sienna, and then a little dry brush to give it a more metallic look, and I think we'll be done. Also creates a nice contrast. Hey, Shadowcat, how you doing today, man? I have literally nothing bad to say about any Pro Acrylic paint that I have used. I am very hesitant to gush about any given paint line. I don't... Like, I'll give advice, and I'll say, like, I like this one for this, I like that one for the other thing. I always recommend, particularly to new painters trying out, of course, Rainy River Designs. That is done by our very own Kursala and Data Nerd, two huge supporters of the channel. They make a great paint line, and they're very, very responsive to suggestions. I have nothing bad to say about Pro Acryl. It's fantastic paint. The dropper bottles that it comes in are really, really damn nice. The paint itself is incredibly easy to use, has a good number of colors. It's well pigmented, it goes down easy, it thins well. I have nothing negative to say about Pro Acryl. If you're curious about it, I say grab a bottle and give it a shot. Well, and Pro Acryl should also be available through Steel Warrior Studios here in the near future. I really don't, Kursala. Unless you want me to, in which case I'll give you my blanket criticism of all acrylic paints that I also give to Pro Acryl. Which is, I wish that people would just name their paints after the fucking pigments. But it's, you know, that's industry standard, so I might as well, like, complain about the binding agents. And I don't think anybody minds that as much as I do, except maybe other oil painters who have gotten used to looking at pigments in their actual paints. Instead, we gotta buy Bloody Nose Red and Drow Nipple Pink and whatnot. Fire Blast Tsunami. Yeah, no. No, not so much. I find those names very frustrating, honestly. I admit I didn't before I started oil painting, but once I started oil painting, I suddenly was like, why are all these stupid fucking names on these bottles? What the hell? Oh, has it been on the site? Oh, I didn't realize it was actually already for sale. I thought that was going to happen this November, but I mean, that goes to show how often I visit Steel Warrior Studios' actual site. Look, I just provide things for sale on that site. I don't buy things from it. And occasionally I'm like, hey, give me a dealer price on a Deep Cut Studios mat, buddy. Even if it is already taken, I don't think that you can, like, trademark those names. The only ones that are copyrightable are the ones for Games Workshop, where they name it after some phrase that they use regularly, like Sybarite or Ultramarines. Well, probably they can't copyright Ultramarine, obviously. Maybe in the context of a tabletop game. Drukhari Blue. Eldari Boobflesh. Yeah, as I said that, I was like, Ultramarine is actually a color, so they clearly can't do that. Yeah, Gilliman or Calgar, and they love to do that, use their proprietary names in their paints. In everything they can, really. I get it. I understand it. I see why they do it. It's probably a smart move. It still annoys me. But I mean, so many things do, that probably doesn't mean anything. Yeah. Yeah. Naming them after the actual pigments would tell you a lot more about how... Well, and the thing, too, I guess that makes it challenging is so many of those proprietary paint mixes, and probably one of the reasons what I want will never happen, is because so many of the, particularly the acrylic proprietary paint mixes, are specific combinations of pigments. They use a whole series of them to make their particular color. And that also results in them mixing in strange ways. So maybe not naming it after it, but they should at least put what pigments are in it on the back of the bottle. So you know if you got like a warm black or a cool black or what have you. May contain nuts. Was processed in a facility that also processes the ground-up dreams of children. You know what? Yes. You do. You do, Kursala, and God bless you for it. That sound like David Bowie. Wait, what the fuck did I say? I've literally never been told that about anything I've ever said before, so... Well, that's not a suggestion, White Wolf. That's tongue-in-cheek. Literally nothing said on this channel should be taken terribly seriously. Maybe I should have more disclaimers. Getting through it. Just a few more of these shorties to go. These barricades resin? Yes, White Wolf, they are. to get the fine texture that I wanted on them. They kind of needed to be, and because of their shape, they don't really use all that much. They seemed like an ideal choice for resin printing to me. And, you know, part of my other thinking with Infinity is I'm doing all this Night City terrain, and I think pretty much all of it will be good for playing Infinity on, too. Get two birds stoned at once.
Do you like sexy battle mechs, sexy streamers, and sexy Solaris cheerleaders?
I do.
Well, Thunderhead Stream has some of those things.
But only some.
And more.
But also more. Fewer mechs these days, admittedly, but still some. Can they be printed supportless? Well, nothing resin can be printed supportless. Just like, what are you asking? No. They do include pre-supports, though. Hello there, sports fans. This stream may contain hilarity, sarcasm, painting games, more sarcasm, and when everyone's dead, maybe a question or two. I feel like that was more of like a game show announcer. Let's rotate the board. That's number Wang. Hey, Warwolf. Welcome in. Warwolf. It's like saying werewolf with marbles in your mouth. It was a Warwolf. Oh, thank you kindly. Yeah, they're coming together nicely. Oh, I didn't mean to paint that one next, but I did anyway. Oh well. How's everybody's Sunday going, by the way? Rings of Power came to an end this last Friday. No spoils for that. There are potentially some spoils. With it in the rear view, I think I personally give the Season 1 of the series, honestly, I'd say a 7 or 8 out of 10. I liked it. It was good. It's not great, but so few things are. And the fact is that we have very little fantasy television on right now, so I'm taking what I can get. Perfectly serviceable show. House of the Dragon is on tonight, and I am excited for that. That show has actually been pretty good so far, which is... I confess I'm shocked to be saying that, but I have consistently enjoyed it. Hello there, sports fans! Thank you. Thank you, Merlin, for providing me with content. What's everybody working on tonight? What are your own projects? What do you, if there's anybody in chat who's going to Adepticon, I'm going to be putting up a poll in the Discord, finding out what people are going to be bringing to play so that we can all be kind of prepping for the same things. I personally am going to be bringing Cyberpunk.
If you anger the fox, you're gonna get stuffed in a box.
You don't want that. Also, we don't have a fox anymore, which makes that a little bit awkward. And I think for the sake of Alaric Kerensky, I'll bring along some Gates of Antares. Crab. What's up, Automat? Did I watch The Witcher? Yes, I've watched both seasons of that. You know, I think people are really harsh on fantasy shows for whatever reason. Because I watched The Witcher seasons 1 and 2, and I was like, it's not like the greatest thing I've ever seen, and as someone who has read not all of the books, admittedly, mostly I've read The Last Wish like 4 or 5 times. And Blood of Elves. And who has played all the games, I was like, this is fine. It's fun. I enjoyed it. I like the performances. And then I go on the internet, like, who else likes this thing? I would like to talk about it. And apparently it's just, we are required to hate this show. I was a little confused by that. Working on the hair for your Melania model. Ooh. Hair always challenges me. Working on a paper for school, as you do, Data Nerd, as you do. I mean, that's probably more productive than what most of us are doing, so... I'd wear that as a badge of honor. Recently went back and watched the 2 Isekai series. I think it's truly worth checking out. Overlord, and that time I got reincarnated as a slime. I've seen both of them, like Hulu has them. I've seen both of them on Hulu. I have not watched them, Sumitha. I don't really watch that much anime. I watch, like, particular ones, and I tend to watch them a few times. On to the big ones. It is. Yeah, no, my elbows are always on my desk. I have my desk at just the right height that I can have my elbows on it and this at working height. Witcher coming summer 2023. Haters be damned. I mean, you know, enough people talk about it. They're gonna get more of it. I don't know. I feel a little guilty for... I don't think I'm not like an influencer or anything, but for my part, I feel guilty for contributing to the culture of hating literally everything, because it's definitely colored things to a point now where it's like nothing is allowed to be enjoyed. I'm really feeling it when it comes to Rings of Power. I go looking for someone to talk to about it, and everyone's just like, this show fucking sucks, and Amazon's the devil. And I'm like, oh, Amazon kind of sucks, but I mean, the show's fine. Working on my Capellan Confederation House Rakshasa Recon Shadowlands. A bold choice. A bold choice, Desert Owl. It's sitting on my shelf right now. You know what I'll say, Sumitha? I have thought about putting it in more in the last week than I had in the previous few months, so give me a little bit more time, and I'll probably be able to say yes. I know, I'm a rotten bastard. Oh, I've earned it. Oh, I've earned it. I don't want to watch Andor, Roland. I'm not going to sit here and be like, Andor's stupid and nobody should watch it. That's not my reason for not doing it. My reason for not doing it is I am really trying to like, I look at it as a relationship. I have been in a relationship with Star Wars for most of my life, since I was a young child. Since way before it was even remotely socially acceptable to be into Star Wars. I was into Star Wars, and I don't say this to like brag or gatekeep, I'm just saying it because I feel like Star Wars broke up with me at a certain point, and I'm really trying to let her go. I'm trying to move on. I'm trying to stop pining for the good old days, and part of that is not consuming Star Wars content, just stopping. And Andor so far is the only show that I have succeeded at doing that with, and I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing it for my mental health. I'm sure it's good. Everybody seems to like it. I won't contradict... Like, I can't contradict it because I don't know enough about it to say that it's bad. All I know is that Obi-Wan nearly gave me a fucking aneurysm. I've come to the conclusion that I need a bigger hobby room. I mean, in fairness, this Mechanic Games, that's always going to be true. But I am curious as to what particular realization brought you to this conclusion. Obi-Wan wasn't even as good as fucking Xena Warrior Princess, so let's... You know what? I'm self-aware enough to eat that, Sumitha. hey, I like Xena Warrior Princess. I still go back and rewatch episodes of Xena Warrior Princess. It has charm. But neither of us liking Xena Warrior Princess can pretend for a moment that it was not campy and cheap. That was a big part of the charm. Obi-Wan shouldn't have been campy or cheap. You're talking about Gabrielle? The least you could do is remember the sidekicks' names. I'm glad you like it, Xander Shade. Co-worker watches Rings of Power, so I tried talking to him about it. He says he could care less about the hobbits. He could keep his cranky self out of my shire. That was, in my opinion, one of the best parts of the show, were the Harfoots and the Stranger. I like that storyline a lot. It was charming. Admittedly, I would watch an entire show that was about nothing but Elrond and Durin, but... Yeah, Durin's wife, Disa, actually, I really like her a lot. The scene when she was singing to the stone was, like, possibly the single coolest moment in the first season. There's a scene when there are miners trapped in a cave-in, and Disa stone sings. And her voice is echoing through, like, the city, and you see the, like, little bits of loose debris on the stone moving around and shifting into different patterns and shapes, and that was really cool. Galadriel is, I don't think that, I think she gets a lot of undue hate. People are like, Galadriel's the worst. She's not bad. She's not great. The actress is fine. Her characterization is, I think, I get what they're going for. I think it's a little sloppy. It's not always the best realized. It doesn't come across super well. I'd say give that time. But most of the other characters are really quite likable. I kind of like Galadriel myself because I see what they're going for with the whole, like, brash young Noldor thing. But, you know, everybody has their own opinion. You know what they say, opinions are like assholes. Mine is awesome. Casting for Elendil and all Pharazôn. Yeah, our Pharazôn is... We didn't get a lot of Pharazôn in this season. I assume we'll get a lot of him next season with the way things are going and how things are shaping up. I like Charlie Vickers a lot as Halbrand. I think he's kind of a fan favorite too. Did I finish Prey? Okay, it threw me for a second because since the last time I played Prey on stream, there was a movie that released with that same name, Merlin, but you're talking about the game, right? I didn't finish it on stream. I didn't finish that playthrough. I had beaten it previously, a long time ago, when it first came out. You want to know how it concludes? We might get back into it. I could see doing that. Prey is an excellent game. Oh, yeah, I guess Celebrimbor's actor was in Downton Abbey. I was wondering where I saw him before. Oh, you know what, Merlin? We could do that, man. Because it's a great story, and I'd like you to know how it wraps up. Winter is, in fact, coming, and that leads to me being inside more, and I estimate the streaming schedule might even intensify a little bit, so we'll see. Oh my god, yeah, okay, so I did that. I'm sitting on the couch, And yeah, there's the thing in the beginning with them being like, "Oh, you're Sauron," and then another character is like, "Call it," and he like looks directly into the camera and winks and like nudges the guy next to him and goes, "A gift." And I'm like, I get it. That was that was a little on the nose. Am I going to be trying Starfield when it releases? I've seen really, really good things about it. I'm going to say probably yes. Probably yes. It seems right up my alley. No, they're still pulling some fuckery. It's a very pretty show. And the orcs. I think the orcs and Adar are maybe the best part of Rings of Power right now. The scene with Diza singing to the stone is probably the best individual scene, but as far as an element of the show or a series of characters, the orcs are really cool. They've done a really good job with them. Well, no spoils. No spoils, Roland. They're not really that big of spoils, because I feel like they're super fucking obvious, but still none. No spoils. What are my thoughts on Star Citizen? I will have thoughts on Star Citizen when Star Citizen proves that it will actually exist at some point. Because currently my thoughts on Star Citizen is that it is... I hate to call it a scam, because I know a lot of people have invested money in it and want it to come out, and it does look very cool. It looked very cool years and years and years ago when I first heard that it was going to be a thing, and it still isn't a thing. Yeah, I agree with Merlin Models. My thoughts on Star Citizen is it isn't. Like, if it happens, I'll have thoughts on it then. But I have my doubts. It seems like it could wind up being one of the most successful scams in history at this rate. I hope that it comes out. I really do. But damn. You gotta admit, damn. And that's why I don't want to call it that, this Mechanic Games, is because I don't follow it too closely, and I know that people have invested money in it, and they follow it more closely than I do, and they keep saying new things are coming out, new things are coming out. I can't follow it that close. I don't have the mental energy to do that. So I stick with, when it happens, I will have an opinion. I will probably play it if it actually releases. Because it's definitely my style of game. And I assume it's going to have VR headset support. They'd be crazy if it didn't. Oh, the art department, yeah, they've done a fantastic job. They've generated a lot of good stuff. Hey, Gus Schultz, it's good to see you, man. I like that too, Grey Mail. Yeah, the poem. That was nice. Dark Tide is very fun. If they fix the matchmaking in netcode, also do more variety of low-rank missions. That sounds like pretty standard fare for something that's in its stage of development for Godarung. Couple things to fix. Yeah, I imagine with the quality of Vermintide that will be done. It will be so. Merlin, you sleep well, man. Thank you so much for stopping in. It's always a pleasure to see you. Oh no, Sumitha. Oh no. You know what, Xander Shade? I think that's probably fair. It is an over-ambitious project. I think that it is absolutely fair, no matter what you think about the game, to say that the Star Citizen developers, their eyes are bigger than their stomachs. And they are to some degree in over their heads. Now, whether they'll pull themselves out of that or not remains to be seen. I hope for the best. And when they present me with a project, with an actual product, I will give them money, gladly. think you legally own Thunderhead Studios. Yeah. For 400,000 volts, you get to do my taxes. Congratulations. Well, not everything you'd hope for, eh? Well, as Captain America taught us, some things are not worth waiting for. Oh my god, don't even get me started on that shit, White Wolf. You don't want to hear me bitch for a solid hour and a half. Like, you probably do want to hear me bitch for a solid hour and a half about something entertaining, but you don't want to hear me bitch for an hour and a half about how, like, fucking American tax assistance corporations have lobbied our government to the point that our Congress people are motivated to keep our tax system complex, difficult, and obtuse. It's incredibly frustrating. I shouldn't have to do my own taxes essentially at all. They should be capable of just fucking withholding the correct amount. It's ridiculous. But that's a boring subject, and I'm not going to go on about it. It's intentionally overcomplex, and having just dealt with a loan and having to go back over and retrieve a bunch of my tax documents, like, I'm freshly irritated about it right now. Though, with that out of the way, and my shiny new APR, I should be able to upgrade my, well, I'm getting ready for an overall office overhaul and streaming rig upgrade, and planning to sink some money into the office and into both the rendering PCs and, like, a dedicated streaming rig, so we'll see if that happens over the winter or not. I don't have a precise date yet. And that's how it should happen, Happy Heretic. It should be that easy. Yeah, White Wolf, I'm planning on having my Werber machine be attached to the fucking floor like it should be, instead of hanging off the wall, because right now it rumbles every damn thing. That is harrowing a bit. Just need to win the lottery so I don't have to worry about money ever again. You want to know? I'm going to tell you something that's going to piss you off. You want to hear something that's going to just profoundly and viscerally irritate you? Because it's a sentence that I heard while I was on break, and I realized it was true, and it just, like, I was... and I had to just let it go. So this can be a good exercise in meditation for you if you take it properly. Is it Kim or Chloe? Probably either one. Kim Kardashian makes more money between the time that she wakes up in the morning and goes to take a shit than most of us will make in our entire lives. Let that one sink in. Praise the meritocracy. I was looking at stats saying she makes like $800,000 per tweet. And if that's not depressing, I don't know what is. Alright, one more, and then we go to the Bump Sienna. Fair enough, Shadowcat. Fair enough. Dude! Okay, so who's paying attention to Black Adam right now? because, like, I'm getting pretty excited about that movie. The reviews are all really, really positive. I guess Henry Cavill is coming back as Superman. I've seen some clips for it. It looks like a hard PG-13. Like really stretching the limits of what they can do with a PG-13. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Reviews say that Dr. Fate and Hawkman are highlights of the movie. Like, I'm into it. The Rock is really, really passionate about it. I guess he sunk a bunch of time and effort into getting it made in the first place for a good long time. I mean, I'm into anything that's genuinely a passion project, and you get so few of those associated with major IPs anymore. Oh, Automat. You so cynical. There are modern movies that are perfectly fine. A lot of them are shit, yes, but there are some that are fine. Alright. Now, do I want to do that on any of the bases? I'm not going to worry about that for right now. We're just going to focus on these for right now, and then I'll do the bases separately. We'll see. See what we get done. I'm always like, I want to do 9 things tonight, and I do 2. Self-awareness is not something we have a lot of here. Wow, really? Happy Heretic? I hated Man of Steel. The last one I saw that I kind of liked was Shazam. Yeah, it's similar, Sumitha, in that The Rock has wanted to do Black Adam for something like 11 years, and he was also apparently really adamant that Shazam doesn't appear in Black Adam. He was like, we're gonna do Shazam, we're gonna do Black Adam. These are 2 different movies, and then later we'll do a movie where they fight, and that'll be fine. Like, thank God someone's doing it right. Guyver Ice, thank you so much for stopping in today, man. Have a great night. Sleep well. Take care of yourself. Thin down my sienna a bit extra here. Don't want it to go on very thick at all. Start back on the short ones. Hey, Dino Man, welcome in. How you doing? A little bit of brightness, nothing too crazy. All I want are more Godzilla movies, regardless of how shit they are. Well, that's good, because they're going to be shit. What was weird to me is the dude who directed the latest Godzilla vs. Kong. Like, it was so far out of his wheelhouse. He's done a bunch of good movies with, like, Simon Barrett. He did The Guest and a few others. You're Next. And then out of nowhere, they pick him up to do Godzilla vs. Kong. Like, I don't see how that's connected to anything else in his entire career, but okay. Well, that's something. At least you got to just relax and kind of deal with it. There's very few things worse than having a headache like that and actually having to exist. Do things, think, interact. Nice, Xander Shade. Are you sure you don't have vampirism, Roland? The two are often confused and conflated. Hemophilic porphyria. I felt like Gary Busey for most of the day. Wow, that's very particular. The step goes faster, thankfully. Stila Rebel? Holy moly, Stila, how are you doing today? It is wonderful to see you in chat. I'm glad you've got some time, and it's the right time to stop in and say hi. How have you been? I mean, given that he was a producer, Happy Heretic, he probably paid for that anyway. How's life, Stila? And folks, if you're not following Stila Rebel, well, she might be a little tricky to catch. For those of us over here on this side of the planet, she's off and on pretty late. But at the very least, go check out her Instagram. Truly an inspiring oil painter. Yeah, it's like a new thing. They've added it like years too late, but it's a feature now, so I guess that's something. Bit sleepy, but coffee on hand. Well, I'm glad to hear that, at least. As long as you've got your coffee. That's a question I can't answer, White Wolf. You're gonna have to look inside yourself for that. I guess that's going to be the pattern for Twitch, is adding features that have been pretty damn standard with third-party software for many, many, many years. Way past the point that they're actually useful, and right when they're actually kind of awkward and difficult to get used to. I'm just doing acrylics today, Stila. I'm just working on a little bit of terrain. Getting some stuff together for Cyberpunk RED Combat Zone that I hope to have with me at Adepticon come March. Now, when we lay into the figures, I'm likely going to be getting some oils out, because I've got some, I have some very cool Cyberpunk 3D prints here that I'm going to be trying to do some pretty vivid color schemes on, and the more I look at them, the more I think, yeah, I'm going to want to do oils on these. They've got, a whole lot of character and the opportunity to do some really, really bright stuff and use like the gambling or the radiance. I think it's too good an opportunity to pass up. Cozy and mindless is my middle name. You did, Shock. You did see a butt. Technically, they all have butts. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing those. I'm getting their bases ready, and I'm going to attach them before I go slapping paint down, because I got them primed. I like to do my bases before I attach my minis. It just lets me get all the details. I mean, it depends on the base, Xander Shade. I tend to like details with lots of, or not details, I tend to like bases with lots of details on them. And it often ends up being easier for me, particularly since I like dry brushing as much as I do, to just dry brush the bejesus out of them, then attach the mini, then paint the mini. If a little bit of paint gets on the base, that's fine, I can touch it up, you know? Random Deadpool trivia, and Ryan Reynolds saw the costume in progress before they had aged the materials to what they look like on screen. He genuinely didn't think it was going to work. Second time he saw it in its finalized form, he fell in love with it instantly. Yeah, there is a huge difference between a fresh costume and one that's been weathered and aged. It's, I mean, like, you know, if you paint models, you get that effect too. You paint something that looks pristine, and you're like, you weather it even a little bit, and suddenly it just explodes. Yeah, or wash for that matter. It's all about the finishing touches. In my current drawing class, professor has noticed I lean excessively towards heavy contrast pieces. Proud to say so far I'm the best in the class when it comes to shading. I mean, contrast is everything. Contrast is how we see. It's how your eye works. When you get too into the individual transitions of something, like, it's easy to feel like it doesn't look right, but when you step back and look at the overall piece, if you don't have heavy contrast, it's almost never going to look right. And that's obviously not universally true, but it damn near. Be it value contrast, be it temperature contrast, I think it's quite possibly one of the most important concepts in painting, in art in general. And, I mean, for my limited experience and knowledge, I could be mistaken, but it really seems to be. There's nothing wrong with that, Xander Shade. Like I say, you know, a piece might not always be done, but sometimes I'm done with it. I acknowledge that. I recognize that. I accept that. Hey, Asri, how you doing? Welcome in. Who's that, Roland? Oh, I loved Edge Runners. I am a very big fan of Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I think they did a great job with it overall. Once I got used to the fact that the Sandevistan was not going to obey any of the laws of physics, and I just accepted it, I enjoyed the hell out of it. I had like a few moments in the beginning of the series, and I'm like, and then I'm, you know, whatever. That's just how it's going to be. Just deal with it. It's cyberware. You ain't gotta explain shit. Why can we rip out your spine and staple something in its place and you're moving later that day? I don't know. Future stuff? He's on Etsy as IG Makes, and his stuff is realistic and totally original. I feel like I might have seen that. Link it to me in the Discord. I'll take a look at it. Hey, Plankwalker. I feel like it was a bit extreme in Edge Runners. It was exaggerated, but everything was. Like I said, it really just... After they did it a few times, and I just accepted that that's how the rules of this universe worked, I'm like, okay. I've suspended my disbelief for dumber shit than that. In my head, the Sandevistan always made someone move, like, at the physical limitations of human reflexes, assuming your perception were accelerated. Oh no. No, I have risen far above that, Sumitha. Yeah, I agree, Azri. You know, as Johnny Silverhand would say, wrong town, wrong people. Or wrong people, wrong city. I'm paraphrasing. Yes, if Pondsmith's happy, you know, I think we all are. It was a great show. I enjoyed it. I've started a second rewatch of it. Alright. So now I need a cool tone. Go over top of that. Don't want to use the warm gray. Don't want to use wolf gray. I'm looking for something cool. Both of those are warm. I guess I could just use heavy blue gray. Nothing strictly wrong with that. I prefer something a little darker. What have I got? Blue-black is too dark. I don't want to mix. Heavy blue-gray might do the job. Let's try it out. I use it for so many things, but it's such a versatile paint. Don't want to thin this. I want this to be pretty damn thick, which thankfully it is right out of the bottle. I'm going to mix it with a little bit of blue-black. Yeah, that's more like what I'm thinking. Back to basics here. Darker. And ease up on the application some. Kind of stipple it in. I want to keep that rust. Well, let's try a little lighter. We're experimenting on this one to find out how I want to do it, so... Try it out on the rebar. What have I got printing on that Neptune? So generally, you can hit !STL in chat to get a readout, assuming I have updated it. And in this case, it is a it's a pseudo-futuristic dumpster that I'm also planning to use for Cyberpunk. How you doing, N415? Welcome in. Generally in here you're going to find me printing my own stuff. I'm egotistical that way. In this case, something that we made right here on the stream, which I like doing that. I like designing something live and then printing it off. Well, yeah, the prototype line is old. The prototype did go well, and now I'm making a bunch of them. Ignore that part. I feel like this could be bluer. I would assume you could probably get a good number of those for a good price on Amazon. It seems like the sort of thing they'd have in bulk from like a Chinese manufacturer. slightly cooler, putting a little icy violet in. See if that makes a difference that I like. Now let's work on these guys. Yeah, I like that better. That little bit of temperature shift, I think, really makes it contrast the color well with the red. That's what I'm gonna do. I think we can go a little heavier even. Go. Let's try you out. Yeah, that contrast better. Can't be afraid of that contrast, and yet sometimes I still am. Hey, Toby and Lord, how you doing today? There, how's that look, folks? Not wanting to do too many more steps on just the concrete and the rebar. We're gonna do some more detailing on the concrete and add in some graffiti and stuff, but it's just meant to look kind of beaten and rusty. I think these colors work together pretty well. Well, that's all you can do is try. Yeah, some stains on the concrete. I'm thinking that too. Oh, you are always welcome to, Sumitha. Just one after another. Oh god, why did I print so many? Well, that is the idea, End. Thank you. If that's how it's reading, then fantastic. Hey, Commander Mittens, welcome in. How you doing tonight? Thank you so much. I'm just kind of fooling around with these. Doing them pretty quick, trying to find a easy recipe that I like for the rebar. It's not perfect, but I think it'll do. Maybe I'll toss a wash on them after the fact just to bring it all together a bit. Yeah. Yes. Yes, Christopher Lee and his odd career in metal. With a voice like that, who can blame him? Yeah, this Mechanic Games, I was mistaken that has actually already happened. I didn't realize that he had them in and was selling them yet. From Canada. One of them provinces. You know the ones. They do pretty good with US shipping. Thank you, White Wolf. I didn't remember offhand, and I didn't want to give false information without looking it up. Punished, Fink. Dropping some of them biddies. Thank you so much, Fink. How you doing today, man? Welcome in. I hope your stream went well last time. On Friday, was it? Works better on these larger spans of rebar. Oh, that's why I'm using this brush right now, Shock. This is an old, nastified one. All brushes still have their use even after they've started to give up a point. And you can recover brushes pretty well too if you're willing to put in a little bit of time. Actually looks pretty nice. I like that. Every brush has its place and a job it can do. Even if it's just slapping on with broad strokes. Dr. Rhino, making sure Punished Fink doesn't have to watch those commercials. Hey, that's something. How you doing today, Rhino? You can give me broad strokes. Dear God. How's that there, incredibly complex Wraith Knight coming together for you, buddy? Oh, will I? Oh, will I? That's exciting, actually. I'm glad. I didn't realize you were gonna go totally fucking insane on the detailing, but I guess I'm not terribly surprised, so I look forward to pulling that up. Why is that, Mittens? I like opening a new tube of super glue. Do you have pressurization issues? Because I could see that being a little nerve-wracking. If it tends to explode. Hey, Monkey Man, how you doing? Yes. Yes, apparently, Rhino. Something that's been driving me crazy today. We're at the end of summer, and for whatever reason, this fucking fly is buzzing around, driving me mad. Oh, it exploded. I'm sorry, Commander Mittens. That sucks. That sucks. Well, that explains why I don't have any issues with it. At least where I'm at, we don't... At least my tubes don't generally have that problem. There, but by the grace of God, go fly. I wish I had, like, a little Dr. Rhino on a chain attached to my hip so I could push a little button and it would give me one of those amazingly clever Dr. Rhino jokes that he's so well known for, just on demand. Exactly my point. Exactly. Thank you. Wonderful. Well, it'll only let you make one post every 6 hours with the way that it's set up right now. If you want to add more pictures to the post, you can do that. I do have salt guns, but it doesn't do me any good in my office. I started trying to use a salt gun, and all that did was put salt in every nook and cranny and crevice of my office with its very many shelves. It's not usually a problem. It's just right now, for whatever reason, we've had... And I think, too, like, it's getting colder, so the ones that were outside are all trying to come inside, and it's a pain in the ass. Hey, Datron, how you doing? Well, you should be able to start off the post with a photo, but then you can add more later on in the thread. Where are we at? We're at 8:06. Let me do this real quick, and then I'm going to take a short break, stretch my legs, grab something to drink, the usual, and I'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll probably have a little bit of extra time before we start the storm report. That should match up nicely. Folks, All right, chat. Stay civil. I'm not going to be here for a few minutes to keep y'all in line. You've still got time. You've still got time, White Wolf. So don't worry about it. You know what? Fine, because it is about time. I will be back in a few minutes, folks. And I don't know what we'll have time to do before the storm report starts. Probably throw a few more colors down on our city bases that we got going on here. But man, we have a veritable concrete jungle coming together for Cyberpunk, which is actually pretty exciting. I will see y'all in a few. Don't go anywhere. I mean, you know, you can. I'm not really the boss of you. I guess you could go someplace if you wanted to, but it'd be cool if you didn't. I'll see you in a few. Xander Shade, here you go, buddy. Enjoy the slideshow. Button doesn't work. I pushed the button. Button doesn't work. Son of a bitch. I forgot that the stream deck is completely fucked today. Professional streamer, folks. Stand back. Well, I should take shorter breaks every hour on the hour, but then I put them off, and right now it's important that I maintain the blood flow, so I did get outside and get a little bit of a walk in there. It does me good when I've been sitting at my desk for a little while. We got just a little bit of time before 8:30, but I think we're going to go ahead and start the storm report early, though if you are still getting your post together, you still have up until 8:30. I'd say to go ahead and get that done. I'm going to go ahead and shift these to the side, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Don't worry, White Wolf, you can still get yours posted. Freedom from Mars. How you doing, man? Good to see you. It's late. It's late. Dude, I saw that little drone you were working on in the 3D modeling channel on the Discord. That's fucking awesome. What are you going to... What is that for? I had meant to ask. Is it not letting you post, Asri? The forum feature is new, and we're just kind of trying it out. It works well for me because of the way that it organizes posts and keeps things nice and concise. Yeah, plenty of garbage, Valandar. We were just working on these jersey barriers again, getting the rebar done and everything. A little bit more work on the bases, and I can get the models mounted to them. And then we're going to try doing some freehand graffiti on these to spice them up. It's probably what we're going to be working on for the rest of the week. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that, Kursala. Okay. I just picked up an Infinity box myself. I've never played it before. But I got the Code 1 Operation Busta Rhymes. What was it? White Wolf? Why do I keep forgetting? Oh, shit. Operation Crimson Tide? Crimson Stone. Okay, there we go. I was close. Actually got further away from it that time. Ooh. Ooh, very fancy, Valandar. Should we have a channel for, like, battle stations and painting stations? I try not to overdo the channels, but I do like battle stations. Yeah, I looked at the available boxes. I was looking at the latest one, which is, I think, Aleph and Hak Islam. And I just, I like Ariadna and the Nomads better as a pairing, just visually, even though I don't know that much about the factions, so I figured that was a good place to start. Plus, I think the Nomads are the ones who have the goofy little spider bot in Psyocast, which I love Psyocast, and if I can have even one model that isn't metal, I will. We don't. We should. I think we're gonna make a Battle Stations channel because people love sharing that shit, and honestly, I love seeing them. I might have done that too, White Wolf. It's entirely possible. You don't know. Maybe I spent $150 instead of $100. Maybe I'm a big idiot. It's possible. Miniature Market usually has good deals on that shit. Oh god, metal model. Why am I doing this? I keep being like, Everyone should be using Cybercast and 3D printing. Metal models are the past. Let me get into a new game that has all metal models. I've done that twice this year. Yeah, the Vostok. I'm pretty sure that's it. Alright, let's get this started. Now, my buttons are not gonna work at all. So bear with me for a second while I do this manually like the total fucking scrub that I apparently am. Is there any way to reverse the order on this sort? I can sort by creation time, but I can't reverse it so the oldest one shows first, so I just have to go to the bottom. But you know what? That's fine. That's fine. We can do that. We'll live. Alright. Now I'm gonna do this manually. Let's make it happen.
Alright, locusts and gentlemechs, get ready to feast your eyes on glowed paint and wet palates with the occasional culinary atrocity thrown in on tonight's Storm Report, brought to you by viewers like you.
And then I have to actually find the overlay that I'm going to. The scene. Oh god. I've gotta figure this Stream Deck crap out. It's really starting to irritate me. It really is. I saw that one too, Valandar. Yeah, when I was in my 20s, I wanted a lightsaber like Luke Skywalker. Now in my 40s, I want a Bacta tank like Luke Skywalker. They do seem amazing, don't they? I would be soaking in that thing pretty much all the time. Ooh. Yeah, nice tank of warm Bacta. I wonder if it smells. Seems like it would have to. Isn't it like a biological soup? Maybe it wouldn't be all that great. I suppose you can get used to almost anything, though. For some reason, that's where my mind goes when I think about that. Up first, we have From to Square, working on an exterminator. In that camo scheme I've been doing, really happy with how the glass is looking with the gradient. I tend to agree. The glass with that like deep orange out to sort of pale yellow that you have on the center there, very, very effective, particularly next to the blue. This is a really, really good example of using temperature contrast, because between the struts and the soft blue at the top of the gradient, and then that just really fiery, nasty red, that looks fucking fantastic. You're getting a good handle on that gradient, going from the blue down through the tan into the green. I would almost say you could expand the tan bar, the tan zone of the gradient a little bit more, because the two greens kind of blend together. You might narrow those and expand the tan. But I mean, if you're happy with where this is, then I mean, keep going. You've got the process down. Looks almost gory. Yeah. If you use this process here that you're doing for the cockpit glass on like some exposed intestines or something, wow, that would actually work, wouldn't it, Machine God? Yeah. Biological soup made from oceanic mush. What's the difference between Bacta and Kolto? Are they the same thing? I feel like they pretty much made up Kolto just for Knights of the Old Republic, but it was also like exactly the same goddamn thing as Bacta. And now I don't know if there's any difference in the lore or if they ever addressed that. All I know is that the Selkath were like a really cool race. Really, really nice work. Very nice work squared. I don't think. It would... That red works really, really nicely, and before you're done with this, I would definitely, and I think you probably will since we're work in progress on this, but, you know, come in here and do something with our arm launchers, arm lasers here, a little pop of color, maybe like some yellow, definitely not green. Doing even the same red would look pretty good. I do feel like it wants for something down around the feet, some differentiation in the color, but it's probably going to look different once it gets on the base. Bacta is synthetic Kolto. Is that true? I mean, obviously none of it's true because it's Star Wars, but, you know, within the context of Star Wars lore, I didn't know that. Okay, yeah, Kolto is natural. They harvest it from the floor of the ocean. I remember that because it was making that one weird shark creature gigantic when it was eating it right from the vents. And then Bacta is a synthetic version of that? Okay. Which I think is funny because I'm pretty sure Bacta existed in the lore before Kolto, and Kolto was created with Knights of the Old Republic. At least I never heard a mention of it prior to that. This is a silly conversation. Why am I having this? Oh, why do I talk about anything? Alright, up next we have from Machine God Ur. Let's have a look here. How's it going? Art of Bianca, welcome in. How are you? Things are going well. Thank you very much for asking. I really appreciate that. I hope things are going well for you too. I feel like I never get a chance to catch Art of Bianca. When's the last time you were online? Our timing doesn't line up. Both are all natural. Oh, well, there goes that theory. Alright. So I made a new mini for the Tortoise 2 since there's no mini for it, and we saw the render, which is exciting. Decided to do something I've not seen anyone do for printable battle armor models, and I parted it. Say hello to an in-scale printable and parted Tortoise 2 mini. Plus some minis I started doing the 2-week period I had to paint by candlelight, thanks to Hurricane E, and the fact that you were painting it all. The fact that you were painting it all is admirable. In fairness, it's a pretty large battle armor as far as battle armors go. It might be one of the only battle armors that you reasonably could part out, though I will say, you did a good job breaking it down to its necessary components. And given how kind of jammed up on itself it is, this seems good for painting. This seems excellent for painting purposes. Of course, also it's the Tortoise 2, which is insane. And you may be one of the only people who ever uses one, but I suppose it's admirable within the very narrow realm of using the Tortoise 2 battle armor. It's beautiful details, Andrew Shade. I mean, that's like... But I mean, saying Machine God Ur has good detail is like... It's like saying he breathes oxygen. This dude has a fantastic eye for doing good, specifically printable, paintable detail. And there's a difference between that and just putting detail on a model. Oh, you're around. Well, that's good to know. It's always wonderful to see you in chat. I hope things have been going well for you. It's just such a goofy thing. Dragging itself along on its fucking wheels. Well, I look forward to seeing some paint get slapped down on this bad boy, Machine God. Really nice work. Oh, detailing well is absolutely... Yeah, it's kind of important that you both print and paint for you to understand what good detailing is. And in my opinion, there are far too many people out there making models who don't follow through all the way to the end and genuinely don't know what good detailing looks like. People say that Games Workshop exaggerates the details too much. No, they just make some of the most paintable models on the planet because they know what they're fucking doing. Dragging itself around, aren't we all? Oh, shit, that's like a whole mood, isn't it? Oh, that cuts me to my core. Alright, let's see what we got up next. Thank you for sharing that, Machine God. I always love seeing your new work. Oh, from Mafik. What the fuck is this? Okay. Normal afternoon lunch at Arden's office with Xeris. Congratulations, you became the father and had a child. Raises a glass of wine. Anyway, do you have a picture? Shows the picture. This is Tarius, and he was a little kitten. Oh, little cat child. Oh my god. Inner Sphere cat girl children. Oh, Battletech is so weird, and it's even weirder when it meshes with Arden and his insane universe. What the fuck? With a stuffed fishy and a little mech toy. I like how this is
There's
art.
something about Canopian cat girls that give me that warm, fuzzy feeling. Or maybe it's just my allergies.
This is an artist's rendition of a Polaroid. There's just something so perverse about that. I don't know. It's been a weird day, and this is just making it stranger. Artception. Oh, nicely done, Mafik. It's always. Oh wait, we have this just in, so we have an added bit to that. the cat girl mother. Which, I mean, of course. Of course. This is the whole point, isn't it? Ultimately? Canopian Catgirl from Max Genetic Lab Facility in Canopus 4. Also, she's good at tabletop games. Holy shit. No, okay. Look. I'll accept a lot of things. Okay, I'll suspend my disbelief for some pretty serious stretches. But a thick-thighed cat girl pilot with that much battle mech experience who's also good at tabletop games? It's too much. It's too much, Mafik. You broke it. You broke it. Alright, let's see what we got next. Up next from the POV 42. After a long focus on my backlog of mechs, I decided to go for a palate cleanser by returning to my Space Navy. This is a Gagarin-class dreadnought, the flagship battleship of the fleet I'm doing in these colors, and I'm pretty happy with it. As a cool but not overly complicated paint job. And you know, you kind of hit the nail on the head with what paint jobs at this scale need to be cool, but not overly complicated. Same thing for the sculpt. I think this is actually a really good sculpt. Cool, but not overly complicated. If you do too much detail at this scale, it's just going to look like a mess. You're going to lose all the really expressive shapes of the design. Yeah, I definitely get Expanse vibes out of this one, Sumitha, and that it's sort of a flying column. But yeah, the sort of forest green with the desaturated highlights, and then that really vibrant, like, sea foam and little bits of yellow. If anything, if I was going to do anything to this POV, you could probably punch up that yellow, make it a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more saturated, particularly next to that green. I think that would really make it pop. It's a good-looking ship. And, of course, making use of cork. A classic tool of the tabletop painter. I keep meaning to get around to doing an A Billion Suns fleet, and, you know, it's... I guess I'll do that after I do everything else that I have to do. Oh, God. Oh, why is this my life? Here we have up next from Shock 21, General Veers. The first full face I've done since I started painting a couple years ago. It's kind of hard to avoid on General Veers, to be fair. His face is front and center. Thank you to Speed Paint for making it pretty easy. Now, I think the good thing about particularly these latest, I say latest, Veers came out years ago, come to think of it, because I painted Veers when I was still in Texas. Oh God, I'm getting old. Anyway, yeah, a lot of the character sculpts for Legion actually do have really good faces on them, minus a couple. How many full lifetimes would it take you to paint everything you already own? That depends entirely on the rate of painting Art of Bianca. If I was painting particularly fast... Alright, I started running those numbers in my head and they very quickly made me uncomfortable. So we're going to move on from that entire line of thinking. Well, it looks like you would never die. Okay, well, okay. If we're running with this question... Do I survive as long as it takes me to paint them? Is that how this works? Can I effectively attain infinite life by never truly working through my backlog? This is an interesting notion. If you were Yoda, would it be more than one life? I mean, it would probably be within one Yoda lifetime. Motherfucker was 900 years old when he died. Give me a break, Shock. I have to maintain my current rate of speed. I would live a long, long time. I would... Oh, God. It's really just making it apparent how slow I've been this year. That's all this is doing for me right now. Whereas Dr. Rhino, on the other hand, would be dead within a month. So, at least within the context of this very specific scenario... I have one thing up on Dr. Rhino, and you know what? That makes it all worthwhile. I would witness the heat death of the universe. Something like that. Veers came out nice. Gray uniform, green armor, nice job on the goggles. Yeah, good looking face. Like I said, the faces on a number of these models, minus, like, I think Leia was a little bit rough. I think Han had a funny looking face. But like Obi-Wan, Veers, a number of the other ones actually have faces that look a lot like their actors. More expressive and deeper detailed faces than many other model lines, so I think in this particular case, yeah, the speed paint definitely helped you out. That's a nice looking Veers. Good job. Good job also with I like the diversity of the grit and texture on the base. You have not only the dirt, but then you've got some of the soft flocking, like turf, and then a couple of tufts. It makes it look a lot more natural. Well done. Would I be able to use those 3-fingered hands as good as my current 5-finger? Wait, hold on. I have to give up fingers now? Oh, okay, I see. If I get rid of my Games Workshop stuff, I could... Wait. No, I'm not seeing anything to do with fingers. Oh, Yoda. Oh, okay, that's the connection. If I was living a Yoda lifetime. I see now. Actually, Yoda would probably be a pretty shitty painter, come to think of it. Those little puppet hands couldn't do much. They could barely hold his walking stick. Here we have from this Mechanic Games. Spent the last couple of days setting up and calibrating the Elegoo Saturn II. Here is a comparison of the Anycubic Photon Mono versus Elegoo Saturn II. Photon on the left, Saturn II on the right. Enhance. So this is our Photon. This guy reminds me of a character from Final Fantasy II. Final Fantasy II / Final Fantasy IV. Well, I mean, Bianca, you're full of some interesting questions tonight. Because in theory, yeah, he could paint things with the Force. Let's be honest, though. If I had the Force, if I had space magic, I probably wouldn't be painting minis. I can think of many things that I would rather do with that ability. That might be a little off topic, but still. Let's come over here and compare. Ooh. Same resin, I'm assuming. It's always kind of tough to look at a freshly printed mini just because the many of the like gray ceramic is slightly translucent, has a lot of subsurface scattering, so pictures of it come out weird. It definitely looks softer. Yeah, kind of overcooked, right, Kursala? Basalt just set up your Elegoo Mars 3 Pro tonight. Enjoy it. I have a Mars 3 myself. I love that machine. I would go stop the Sith. I would go rescue your daughter from the Imperial Inquisition. But I've got a game on Saturday, and I need to get this combat squad done. I mean, the Saturn looks damn nice. Though really, I think the strength of the Saturn and the point of the Saturn is you should be printing huge things. That's what I want to see. Oh, yeah. Oh, is this the same resin? It doesn't look like it has the same level of translucence to it. I mean, the detail on the right definitely comes out sharper in the photo. That could be a difference of the angle even, though. Either way, it looks nice. I eventually need to upgrade to something with a larger print bed. Yeah, right here, Valandar. Chunk. And here, too. You can see it all the way across, actually. Which explains exactly what it is. Same resin, different batches. All right. Oh, that's fine. I can't hear that laughter, Bianca, because I can't make it to my ears without the third dimension. You know what I want to see? I think a good comparison to this Mechanic Games is with primer on. It's much easier to see the particular details of a print with primer on. Again, most of these resins have a little bit of translucence to them no matter what you do, and they suffer from a lot of subsurface scattering, so photographs of them are always a little iffy. Pop some primer on those bad boys, and I'd love to compare them. And yeah, you got a little bit of slippage here, but that could be for any number of reasons. I mean, if you're using like a rattle can, that's possible, Basalt. If you're using an airbrush, that shouldn't be much of an issue. Either way, they're nice prints. I need to get a bigger resin printer. Here we have from Kursala. Let's get this bad boy pulled up here. Brush on primer is the why do I even read what you write? Those from bad supports, yeah. I figured you had probably addressed that. On the last stream, Thunderhead mentioned that my painting has improved lately, but I just want to point out that the wizards were just because I actually cared about making them look. Oh, the spell swords. Okay. Were actually because I cared about making them look good. Most of the improvement on those ones were just because I was using paints as they were intended, rather than trying to make them do what I want. I was trying to be nice. Here's another one that I took my time with and put a lot of effort into. Oh, this came out really nice. I really like the temp contrast between the bear skin and the bear fur. I'm gonna stop that. I regret doing that. Oh, this came out nice. Very toned and with nasty dark skin. Good texture. I like the shadowing coming back on the downturn, sort of open claw, getting ready for a swipe. Really nice work on this, Kursala. Opted for the grizzly flavor of bear. Is this some kind of euphemism? I feel like this is like a thing. But I don't know enough about it to confirm or deny that with any certainty. A little splash of green down here on his runes I think was a good choice. Just adding in that little bit of extra color, because he's got a lot of warm, ruddy tones overall. So any cool tones you can introduce, do him a favor by doing that up in the fur and then down here. Grizzly's more brown? I don't know anything about bears. It's possible. I'd have to look it up. Kursala, I think that you should do this more often. This whole taking your time and using proven techniques and using paints to their strengths as opposed to just sort of trying to make things work that don't make any goddamn sense. Because when you do, your painting's pretty damn nice. I feel like I'm gonna catch shit for that. I'm gonna catch shit for that later. This was the reference for the bear. Well, yeah, he is more brown. He came out kind of silver on yours. I think it looks good, honestly. Went more ruddy for the flesh tone and then kind of silvery for the fur. Oh, he looks like a sweetheart that could absolutely kill me. Yeah, I figured that might happen. So up next we have from Gus Schultz. Let's just move right along. Oh god. The construction on the backdrop is done, and only final weathering is required when all the pieces are at the same stage for visual cohesion with the base. This is our Nuka World signboard backdrop. Oh, this is nice. This weathering makes me really fucking happy. This looks so believably like kind of worn, weathered, split surfaced plywood and like press board that was once painted. This is, oh my god. Specifically the worn through brown spots and the patterning of it, that up down, it really looks like the surface is sort of splitting apart and starting to peel. PSK, that is fucking awesome. I'm glad to hear that, man. I'll see you there. Gus Schultz, I would be interested in hearing some techniques on this, because this is incredibly effective. This reads so naturally as exactly what it should be. Like, I look at this and my mind just immediately knows what it is, which can be really, really tricky, particularly with weathered textured surfaces. Sandblasted after a full well, that's what I'm wondering is, with the way that it's done, it does look like you probably could have just done this by using like a piece of high grit, like 60 grit sandpaper. But I'm wondering if there was any more to it. Scrape with a wire brush. See, it wasn't exactly what I thought, but it is straightforward and deceptively simple. Like, I think it looks good on the sign itself, but on our Space Lady, this is great. I like how she's standing forward a little bit, like she's a separate piece of wood. I can't wait to see this whole piece. Gosh, Schultz, I cannot wait to see this whole piece. That's fucking great. Really nicely done. As it turns out, yeah, one of the best ways to make something look like abraded and weathered is to abrade and weather it. Who would have guessed? Old tricks are the best tricks. Up next we have from NMO, Xander Shade. Finish the paint on... This is for his Zaku too. Finish the paint on the arms. Will they cure? I will attempt to panel line, sticker, and varnish before reassembly. This is all so organized. I feel like my painting is so slapdash by comparison to all these alligator clips, but then I suppose this guy does have a lot of actual moving parts, and it would be easy to gum that up if you did it while he was assembled. Oh, Zaku. You have so many wonderful curves and so many wonderful design elements to you. And for the This Just In entry, a preview of the assembled paint scheme. Kind of a cream color? Damn, that's a nice looking model. And I'd imagine that painting it in pieces like that and doing assembly after, you actually still have a good amount of mobility in the final assembly, Xander Shade. White with gray frame. Yeah, it just seems like it's a slightly off-white, like an eggshell. Are you going to do like some weathering or battle damage on top of it out of curiosity? It's very clean. It looks absolutely wonderful. I'm curious, like, decals, armor markings, what is the overall vision for this Zaku by the end of it? Really nice model. That's what I would figure, White Wolf. If you assembled it and then painted it, you would inevitably gum some things up. But, yeah, using the alligator clips, you retain the ability to, You're pissed off that the color didn't match the box art. Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I like the look of it. Here we have from Automat Americana. The initial plastic was tanned. You could still do that. I like the kind of bone off-white eggshell. It's unique. And if you came in and did like some more unique like armor markings in reds or greens, they would really, really pop against that. Crab. The legs are in a more or less serviceable state now, I hope. I have some concerns about them and the arms interfering with attempts at torso twisting when posing. That's going to be waiting on a test printing before I know for sure. Went back and forth about the feet and eventually went with a canted H-bar setup as I don't like any of the classic crab feet. If the test print works out well, it will be on to posing. I kind of like the hooves that the king crab has myself, but that's a personal preference. I still think you're a madman for doing as many moving parts in this as you. I don't know. Personally, I have moved away from dealing with moving parts in models of this scale. That is entirely personal preference, but I mean, I respect the hell out of your efforts to go ahead and do it anyway, with the opening and closing claws, and even with the torso twisting. I guess that part of me, that bit of wonderment, that bit of child inside of me that wanted to do that has unfortunately died. I'm tired, so for whatever reason I thought we just said it would have tan lines. Don't even know where to go with that. Yeah, you could do that. You just do like a... It's paint... Put like a green stuff bikini on the Zaku, and then make the rest of that color into just like a lobster red. Maybe on his back put a smiley face. Why the hell not? What do you have to lose? Don't do that, really. I mean, I don't think you're really in any danger of it, but I don't want to be responsible for it if it does happen. Thank you so much, Bianca. Only wet the surface with Windex and it softens up the paint. Oh, that's a good idea! Yeah, because it looks very specifically like the paint got, like, rained on and then abraded. So yeah, a little bit of Windex, that ammonia is going to soften it up and make it just a little bit gummy. And then if you come in with kind of like a loose but stiff wire bristle brush and just... Oh. I hadn't thought of that for weathering before. It's one of those things where as soon as somebody says it, you're like, oh, well, of course, that's fucking obvious. But for whatever reason, it wouldn't have occurred to me when I was thinking of it. This is why we need classic painters like Gus Schultz around, reminding us of the old ways. Modeling moving parts is fun and can drive you mad, which is why I kind of stopped doing it for the most part. PSK, just got off work from the second job, duty call at 0500. Get some sleep, my friend. It's wonderful to see you in chat. I'm really, really happy that we're going to get to see you at Adepticon. I'm going to be putting up a poll, by the way, for everybody who is going to Adepticon. I'm going to be putting up a poll in the Confusion channel on the Discord, which, of course, you can always find by hitting !Discord in chat. And I'm going to be putting up a poll for what games people are going to be playing, what games people are going to be bringing, what games people are looking for, so that we can all kind of focus our efforts on bringing the right models to get the maximum number of casual and pickup games, because I want to play some games with you people, and I'm going to have a bunch of Thunderhead dice to give out. So I definitely look forward to seeing you there. It's a good-looking crab. It's a good-looking crab, Automat. Like I said, I'm partial to the hoof feet, but I want to see a finished painted version of this bad boy. You've been working hard on it, and I think it's paying off. Alright, up next, we have from Gray Mail. Ooh, we haven't seen one of these in a little while. Marvel United Iron Man. Finally finished up with this guy. The blue repulsor blast on the base took quite a while. Went with true metallic metal since I didn't want to risk trying non-metallic metal for the first time on this one. Let me know what you think. That's funny, Gray Mail, because that was one of the first times that I was like, I'm genuinely going to try to do non-metallic metal over this whole mini, was on the Iron Man for, Marvel Crisis Protocol. It nearly fucking killed me. I don't know why I thought someone who is completely covered in colored metallics was a good idea for me to experiment with doing it for like the first time, but I mean, I feel like the final product came out good, you know? Oh god. Xander Shade, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for your contribution to the Storm Report. As always, it's always wonderful to see you in chat. Have a great night, dude. Did you get yourself an Iron Man helmet, Sumitha? Nice. What you're saying is I'm going to need to put an army together for Adepticon. Well, that's kind of why I'm putting out the call to find out who's playing what, because I'm going to be trying to limit my Adepticon games to small model count games for the most part. I think the highest model count I'm going to bring is going to be probably 30 models. Actually, no, I guess 15, because I'm going to be doing Gar. That's why I chose Gar, because Alara Kerensky wants to play some Beyond the Gates of Antares. And if I play Gar Empire, I can use a low model count army for that game. Anything else, though, I'm going to try to limit myself to, like, 10 models to a force, like skirmish size. I'll probably bring Marvel Crisis Protocol. I actually played some more MCP when I was down in Texas, and it's a good game. I don't want to like it. I don't want to, but it's a good game. And I have a bunch of painted models for it, so I feel like an asshole not playing it. Time for NMM and MCPs for a limited team with a reason to be wonky, like Black Order or Asgard. Yeah, you could get away with it with those guys, where you're just doing like the hammer and a few other like little shinies on Thor's chest and whatnot. Whereas Adepticon, it is in Schaumburg, Illinois. So, yeah, we're gonna be basically on the Great Lakes in March, which is gonna be awesome. I'm looking forward. Oh god. It's like I have this talent for picking the worst place to be at any given time of year. Yeah, not Chicago. Schaumburg is basically just, it's essentially attached to Chicago. It's gonna be great weather. I won't know. I'm not leaving the fucking hotel. We got a room in the venue hotel. And I'm not leaving it. The base, the repulsor blast that he is shooting off of looks fucking awesome. I can tell that is the part of this model you spent the most time on. It looks wonderful. Like, don't get me wrong, the rest of his armor reads beautifully. I like the kind of muted mustard gold that we have for the faceplate and the yellow parts. This is very much the sort of later Iron Man when he was primarily red with small bits of yellow. I think the arc reactor looks pretty damn good. Didn't go crazy doing like a lot of OSL or anything on that. It's very, very restrained. Oh, it's a Pepsi hotel, so plan accordingly. I will, because at this point I've laid off soda entirely. So that works out for me. I don't want to say the base outshines the mini. I don't want to say that, but it looks really good. I don't think it outshines it. I think it enhances it. I think it really, it sells what's going on for the action pose. Is it still cold up there in March? Isn't it? It should be. Generally it's cold here in Colorado in March, but I admit, I think I've been to Chicago one time in my entire life, so I won't pretend to speak from experience. It's a wonderful piece. This is fantastic. I mean, you've done a good enough job on this repulsor blast that this is one that I'm probably going to save for a reference piece, because there's a chance I'm going to be painting the new MCP Iron Man before too long, and he's in the same pose. He's flying up off of a repulsor blast, unlike the last one. Fortunately, the Ant-Man helmet I also have doesn't fit me for shit, but at least the Iron Man helmet fits me, even with my glasses on. That's always a drawback for us. Yeah. Helmets with glasses are a real trick, aren't they? I like Ant-Man's helmet, particularly the new one they did for the movies. Really, really gorgeous work, Grey Mail. Fantastically done. Time well spent, in my opinion. Oh boy, now we get to see what Tobin Lord has been up to since last time for Gore-tober. Here are one of the other Gore-tober days I have done. Mostly was fooling around with colors and textures. So, I mean, I can tell because we have a few textures in here that we generally don't get out of Tobin Lord. You can, I mean, you know, it's we all have our preferred artistic style, and we've definitely seen Tobin Lords a number of times here. The color palette here, going from the purple all the way to the oranges and the yellows through magenta, that is absolutely lovely. We have some sort of hard surface work, and the reflections, the environmental reflections that go along with it. That is kind of unique. We don't often see that much hard surface out of stuff that isn't on our CRT faces for the most part, and I really like the flames and the smoke. It reminds me of something out of like heavy metal. Oof. Had downloaded a bunch of brushes and wanted to mess with them. I mean, it's always good to expand your toolbox and your experience with what you have available as an artist, and it's wonderful to see you trying some new things. I really like the color palette on this overall. I love that vibrant aqua for his head is so central to the piece and is so limited and so isolated among everything else. It makes it really, really striking. Finally cooling off to the mid-80s here, so I'm biased. We're getting down into the 60s and 70s, and I'm fucking happy at this point. I'm just tired of the 90s. Oh my god. Tobin Lord, this is gorgeous. And there isn't a lava lamp-inspired piece of motion anywhere in sight. Instead, we have these really, really expressive smoke clouds. As I said, the colors in them, it's got like a sunset palette to it. And again, some reflection down here on the face and over here on our hard surface armor. That's wonderful. Yes, digital painting, as it were. And like I said, as soon as we got down into the 70s here in Colorado, I decided to take a trip to Texas where it was still 90 and humid. I am an idiot when it comes to weather. Tobin Lord, this is gorgeous. It's less upsetting. It's less upsetting than the previous Gore-tober installation, so I'm curious what direction our next one is going to go, I have to say. I feel like I can never quite predict it with you. Oh, what do we have up next? Here we have from Punished. Think. I will not, in fact, come to Florida, Bianca. I was born in Florida. I grew up in Florida. I know better than to fall for that trick again. Thank you very much. Hey, Thunder, just wanted to show you that hex I was working on when you raided me. It just needs the water added to it and it's all done. So view this one more as just going into a dry season. Hope you think this is cool and hope I can play a game on a map with nothing but these hexes. Thanks again. Oh, dude, Punishfink, it's no problem, man. I was overjoyed to have the opportunity. And this is actually really nice work. This reminds me of like some of the work that this should be at a larger scale. This isn't very big. This is only like 2 inches across. This turf, this is like medium grain turf from Evergreen Scenics. There's a lot of really, really interesting work here for the meadow. Good difference in texture and color. Yellows, greens, whites, oranges, little tufts that are clearly flowers. Like it's a very natural seeming scene. This is really good work. A whole board made of these? 2.5 inch. Okay, thank you, Vergatarung. Which makes sense. You'd be able to fit a mech nicely into the middle of this. A whole board. I don't have the patience for that. I just know. I know that I don't have the patience for that. My God. I mean, Godspeed, Noble Modeler. You should put this up. I don't know if you follow Mel, the terrain tuner. I can't speak right now. Mel, the terrain tutor. He's a British guy who does all handmade terrain pieces, and he does lots of natural scenes like this. He's really, really good at what he does, and he has a great group on Facebook. They would fucking love to see this. This is right up their alley. I can't wait to see it with the water added, man. Great work. Alright, what do we got up next? Oh, speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Dr. Rhino. One of my last 7 models I need to finish for my Eldar army. He had only started on 1 foot the last time he showed this to me, and now here we are. I'm curious. I'm curious, Dr. Rhino. Oh, you don't? Okay. Honestly, for the better. For the better, Fink. Are you using a reference for this pattern, or is this entirely just stream of consciousness? Because the pattern is pretty interesting when you get in there. It also doesn't... I was going to say, I'm going to bet stream of consciousness because there aren't that many repetitions. It just looks like you're kind of working from the bottom up and filling in space with just some common themes, swoops, occasionally going into right angles. I like how we have like this little line here with a couple of waves coming off of it. Enhance. Let's get in there. Let's look at the nitty-gritty. Let's get so close that we can see all the dirt. All the wavy lines, all the thin spots, all the things you're never going to see when you look at this thing overall. This is, like, when people talk about being afraid of doing freehand, Dr. Rhino, I'm going to probably use this as an example of why they shouldn't be. Because right now, what you're doing is you're applying a lot of, like, what James Wapple does when he talks about doing freehand designs and filigree and stuff on his cloaks and shields and everything, which is... None of the individual shapes are hard to do. It's all in how you combine them. You look at this and you think, wow, it's so intricate, that must be hard to do. It really isn't. It's doing just a series of simple shapes and keeping going with them and combining them in visually interesting ways. This is lovely. Yeah, according to the rules of painting as established by Bianca, you've got maybe a month to live, Dr. Rhino. Rhino, this is fantastic, man. I can't wait to see the rest of this Wraith Knight. And the thing is, the Wraith Knight's so damn tall, like, this looks like so much work, he has so much left to go. We're at the top of its ankle, because its legs are, like, fucking 30 inches long. Woo! And he's gonna get lava between his legs, right? Are you gonna do, like crotch OSL after you've gone through and done all the detailing, Rhino? Inquiring minds need to know. One of the last 7 models, and it'll take you... I was gonna say it would take you as long as a full army, but that's still only like a week. Very, very mild OSL. Okay, because I think that's... Doing some OSL over a pattern like that can really help to sort of put it in its environment. Yeah, Valendar. You see, according to that particular metric, we're the smart ones. How about that? And speaking of Valendar the Red... End result of my new painting table. Seems that having a stable painting surface actually helps my brush control. I mean... yeah. As it so happens. New lights arrived 10 minutes ago, so I'll probably have better luck with blends, too. Being able to see is also something that often helps with painting. Enhance. Oh, only a little bit of enhancement. Really, really nice. Really nice NMM. Honestly, it's like, it's chunky and effective. The contrast works well. I like what you've done, particularly with the high tones on the armor compared to the nice dark leather straps across the chest. I love, 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 love this wood texturing you have on the inside of the shield. That is so natural. That is gorgeous. Excellent color palette, too. The orange next to the blue reads fan-fucking-tastically. And it doesn't detract from any of the brass that you have going on the shield or on the straps. Good-looking face, for that matter. I always struggle with faces and with hair. This is an effective, simple paint job. Really nicely done, Valendar. This would be... I mean, we have a couple in the Storm Report tonight that I would happily use as references for trying to describe techniques. This, honestly, Valendar, this is a good... like... This is a good piece to show to people entry level for, like, trying to understand what non-metallic metal is. Because you can see it more clearly. You're not being... If you want to get in there and analyze it, this is the kind of paint job that somebody could probably replicate using the most important sort of principles of doing non-metallic metal. Particularly over here on the shield, with the shadow towards the top and then picking up light as it comes down over here, and then contrasting that with the light here and shadow as it gets closer to the shoulder. This is beautifully done. And heavy shadow on our helmet that's tucked back here. Gorgeous work, Valendar. I look forward to seeing things with the new lights, too. And yeah, get yourself, folks, really, get yourself a nice painting area where you can brace both of your elbows and bring your mini together between both hands in an A-frame. I cannot tell you how much of a difference that makes. And if you have problems with your hands wobbling, one of the best things you can do, first of all, get a painting handle, or just stick it to a cork or whatever you got, but take the heels of your palms and push them together. Hold the mini with one hand, paint with the other. Do you have problems with your brush shaking around? It's a real simple concept. Because if your hands shake, and they're braced together like this, it doesn't matter how much they shake. They can shake all over the place. Because they're going to be shaking in exactly the same way at exactly the same rate, which, relatively speaking, means that they are perfectly static. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought looking at Freedom from Mars. It's a wonderful introductory piece. There's so many non-metallic metal pieces out there that you look at and you go, just, I don't know. I wouldn't know how to even approach this, but I could break that one down. Oh, I do that too. Yeah, Bianca, if I can't put the heels together, what I'll often do is I will extend the pinky of my right hand and I'll brace that against just anything that's available, really, and then kind of rotate around on the joint of my pinky. And eventually I figure I'll probably break it doing that, and that'll be great. That'll be awesome. That'll be a wonderful stream. I'm sure I'll do it live. Here we have from Monkey Man working on that Invasion of Terra diorama. Two halves have been put together, and the craters have been added. Enhance. Whew. You got a nice zoom on this one. Oh yeah, the color palette choices are great. Valendar is a very smart painter who understands a lot of the basic principles that I think are the most important things to teach when it comes to painting. And basic color theory, as in just how to operate a color wheel, I think is not focused on enough. But again, that color palette is very simple, like, look at the color wheel. Boom, boom, boom. There, that's why it works. You have a triad. I love our little Imperial Fist gentleman here, standing around like he's early to the party, you know? Like things haven't really kicked off yet. The lights are still on, you know? So all the decorations, they're not like... Everything is in the harsh light of day instead of in the, like, strobes and the dim mood lighting. He's like, oh, people will be here eventually. Either first or last. It's too clean for last, Bianca. It's far too clean for last. Either way, the music ain't playing. This is some really good work you've been doing with this XPS foam, man. Yeah, I see you digging out the craters. Doing a really good job leveling the difference between the upper surfaces and the trenches. Lots of really detailed handwork you've done on the various trenches. I love these over here that have been busted through. You can see where the dirt and the wood has been broken open. And we can see the sandbags starting to get their color treatments. And some texture and grit coming down over here. Oh, and it looks like we got like some wire rigged up in front of the trenches. Good and proper. This is a fun piece. A really fun piece to watch come together a bit at a time. And thank you for including the Warhound Titan legs here in the back to also help scale everything. All we're missing is a banana. Oh, these are just different materials up here? Okay. Or do you mean the sandbags? They're just sculpted out of a different material. You haven't started coloring them yet? Okay, fine. Well, I'm wrong. I thought maybe they had gotten a wash or something yet, because this is probably the color that I would go with and then bring them up into a tan to make them look more like a filled burlap, you know? This is an incredibly ambitious piece, Monkey Man, and I am fucking looking forward to putting eyes on it in person. That is exciting as hell. Here we have from Semi-Serious Nerd. Only semi-serious. Oh, here's progress on the War Dog. Here's progress. Left side has melee weapons, right has ranged weapons. Currently don't know where to go from here. The flat panel's interesting enough. My overall goal is to make the ambiance feel like a cold, rainy day, so I plan to airbrush cold blue/gray over top, bring out more color after. What do you think? Enhance. I think the flat panels read really nicely. You've got the deep shading in towards the sort of Latin trim, and then coming out to the highlights towards the middle. They read as kind of dirty and nasty. I love that pink magenta for Chaos. It's always been one of my favorite colors for them. I like the sort of yellows and browns on the metallic parts. It makes them look kind of oily and dirty and greasy. Trying to think of simple things that would improve this overall. I mean, I like so much of what I'm seeing here. I mean, individual details. If you're going to come in and do individual details, like glowing eyes, do the teeth, stuff like that, but I feel like you're already going to do that. You're asking me here about the big pieces, the main colors. So if you're asking about the panels, you're asking about the trim, and you're asking about the metallic parts, maybe some more weathering. If you took like a sienna and washed it into some of the crevices of the steel parts to make them look oxidized and rusted, you could do the same thing for the brassy, coppery parts. You could come in with like a verdigris on some of the deeper portions. I wouldn't go overboard with it. I wouldn't do it on the whole thing. But if you kind of think about the places that water would naturally gather and then oxidize those things, it makes the whole thing look more sort of neglected and naturalistic. Honestly, I think that's maybe some of the only things that I would do to this at this point, and that's just as an opportunity to introduce a few more small, subtle splashes of color. Other than that, it just comes down to individual detailing, and I'm very excited to see what you have in mind for that, because you've got some really, really cool things you could do with this. Oh, that'll happen, Basalt. Well, the good news is, you're learning that the cheap way. Always fear the guy who pilots a pink mech. He is truly confident in his abilities, and he likely has reason to be. He definitely doesn't give a shit what you... I look at this, and yeah, this Armiger pilot doesn't give a shit what you think. It's such a cool conversion. It's so aggressive and nasty. It reminds me of, like, the old Chaos Defilers, how kind of awkward and janky they were. This is a cool fucking model. I think that you are right on track. If I was going to change anything about the panels, it would have been before you got to this step, and it would just be introducing like some more complex colors to them, maybe some blue undertones. But that's getting way past where you need to be with this. This looks fucking good. I say keep going the way you're going, semi-serious nerd. Maybe add in a little bit more oxidization, and I look forward to seeing the next entry. Here we have from Asri. Got that entry in Seabor Iron Drakes. Is it Seabor? Is it Skibor? How do you pronounce that? I'm familiar with the company, but I realize I have no idea how to say the word. Not sure I like how these turned out. I like the colors, but I think I need to do work on the banners. I'm not sure I have the skill for it. You do. Trust me. It's not as hard as you think. The resin on these was very difficult to work with. Super soft, really. Like Cyborg, so Cybor miniatures. Okay, thank you. I don't know that I'm familiar with Cybor's work, but I don't know that I've ever had any of their minis in my hand. The resin was soft, you say. The banners have a lot of nice detail. If all you did was, if the only techniques you used on these were washes and dry brushes, you could pull some more detail out of this easily. Like, pop a brown wash over the gold parts and then give it a light silver dry brush. That'll help those details pop out there. For the purple, toss on like a blue wash and then come in with like a light pink or a magenta dry brush. Bing, bang, boom. Your banners are already going to be looking better. Leaf Painting, welcome in. It's wonderful to see you, man. How you doing? I mean, all in all, for a unit this large, I think they came out pretty good. I like the combination of purple and gold. It's one of my personal favorites. The red beards stand out really well against the sort of light gold, cream-colored armor. I think you, I think you should be happy with this unit. I don't think you should come back to this and do any more on the minis themselves. It looks really, really nice. I do think, yeah, go ahead and do a little bit more work on the banner. Like I said, pop a brown wash on the gold parts and give them a light dry brush of silver. Pop a black wash on the silver parts, give them also a touch-up of silver. Pop a blue wash on the purple parts and give them like a vibrant magenta dry brush just to bring out those filigree details. And other than that, call this unit done. It looks good. If you're not happy with this paint scheme, take anything that you want to do to this moving forward and apply it to future squads. Don't linger on this. I think this is maybe one of the most important pieces of advice I can give people, particularly painting armies. Honestly, don't dwell. Don't dwell. You painted this unit and it looks fucking good. And no matter what you do when you paint something in a year, you're going to look back on this one and go, what was I thinking? I'm so much of a better painter by now. But if you get stuck in that mindset now, and you keep coming back to it over and over, you're just going to be painting the same damn models and you're going to burn yourself out. And I don't want you to do that. So yeah, I would punch up those banners a little bit as focal points for the squad, and call it good. This is a good looking squad. The colors are well chosen. I think they look particularly good with, I think what we're calling it now is the regiment effect. Where individually you might not like how they look necessarily, but when they're all standing together, damn, do they ever look impressive. Look at that. I love it. I love it. But that, folks, will bring us to the end of the Storm Report, and concordantly, vis-a-vis, ergo, the end of tonight's stream. I hate having to do that manually. You learn more faster with the finish no perfect approach. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Exactly, Bianca. It's like... Oh, wait, did I forget a post? Did I really? Hold on. I'm sorry. I can fix that. I'm not seeing one. Wait. I have to refresh it. Oh, my God. Okay, you're right. I did. I'm sorry. White Wolf. I was thinking, like, wasn't White Wolf going to make a post? Thank you for pinging me on that. Here we have from White Wolf for Setup Sunday, and thank you for remembering. I think we should go ahead and bring that back and make it a little bit more official. After 6 weeks of rearranging the living room through numerous sessions, I finally have something to show of the new painting setup. It's still very much so in progress. We'll need a lot more work, but whatever. Here's the best I was able to do for taking a photo of the setup in its current shape. Overall plan is to be able to have a setup I can paint at with acrylics or oils, or work on something with either markers, colored pencils, or watercolors. Seriously contemplating some watercolor pencils, maybe markers too. So organized. I think at this point White Wolf really just posts to make me incredibly self-conscious and painfully aware of what a slovenly fucking artist I am. Well, I know it's not staged now because it's happened so many times, White Wolf. You know what kind of psychopath you'd have to be to stage it this many times? This is just how it is. And I'm like, I understand that I have to accept that, but I still find it upsetting. I see what you mean, though. The oil paint storage solution will be forthcoming. It's new. In this case, it's fresh. Not staged, but fresh. And I'm fine with that. So many art disciplines all happening at the same time, and all in such a tiny place, and with such a fancy 3D printer so close at that. You know, the way I think about it, Art of Bianca, is like, why does my office need to be organized? For other people? I'm the only person who needs to know where any of this shit is. And while I couldn't describe it to anyone, I can reach out and grab most of it. That's what matters. I'm also pretty good at making excuses. God damn it. The important thing, though, is that you know where everything is, White Wolf. And yeah, I like your little anti-vibration pads you have under the Typhoon. This is something I'm going to be doing in the near future, because I think you can hear every time I use it, like it's... Well, maybe not. Can you hear that? It is vibrating the desk that the microphone is attached to, but I do have the microphone on an anti-vibration dealy bopper, so it might not. Okay, so you just hear the rattle. You don't hear the actual... Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm gonna get it to a part where I can't feel it rumbling everything on my desk, I guess, is the goal. They're called shock mount. Yeah, I couldn't think of the word. Yes, I have my microphone on a shock mount. Thank you. Thank you, White Wolf. Between you and Roland, you know everything that I constantly forget. Well, let's get a glance at our second shot here. Ooh. I like it. Yeah, I'll get that tested and send over what I have for the oil paint rack, because it's... Tubes just wind up taking up way too damn much space. Just way too damn much space. Yeah, and what you two don't get me with, Stila comes in to just straight up rub my nose in it. God, streaming is so friendly. Oh my god. Okay, but that will bring us to the end of the Storm Report, and thus the end of tonight's stream. And now I get to do this again. Isn't that exciting? Manually. I'm going to click on each one and try to time it right. Here we go. You ready? I guess it's not that complicated. Alright. It's a little early tonight. We're only up to 9:30. Let's see who's doing what. There have got to be some painters out there on a Sunday night. Lara Kerensky, Josh Foreman, Monster Den Minis. Oh, Teal Security is just getting started. That is perfect. Let's go ahead and toss a raid over to Teal Security. He is a wonderful guy, a wonderful painter, incredibly talented. If you're not following him yet, please do me a favor. Even if you're turning in for the night, stick around for just a couple minutes. Go with the raid. Check out his channel and see if he is your kind of streamer. He is on, right? Why isn't he showing up? I'm just going to have to enter it manually. I think because he literally just started. Art of Bianca, it is genuinely always exciting to see you in chat. You are a fantastic artist and a huge inspiration. So if you enjoy being in chat, that makes my night just a little bit better. Am I spelling it right? I-R-E. S-I-K-I-R-E. God, why does... I don't know what the hell that name means. I have no idea. But that's what we're doing. That's where we're going. Far too kind. Far too kind. Folks, thank you guys for coming out tonight. It's been wonderful getting back into the swing of things. It's wonderful to be making some progress on these that we sculpted before we went on break. We're gonna have a lot more painting this week as we continue to work on Cyberpunk stuff, as we continue to get ready for Adepticon. Stilo Rebel, I could feel you. I could feel you lurking, and it was like a weight. It was like a weight was lifted. So thank you, Stilo Rebel, for being here. I think it was you drinking coffee sort of sending me like telepathic caffeine, maybe that was it, because I don't feel as sleepy as I usually do. Anyway, guys, thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you for everybody who contributed to the Storm Report. I always love seeing your work. You guys are an absolute inspiration. A huge thank you, as always, to my incredible mod team that makes all of this possible. We'll be back on Tuesday the 18th, Friday the 21st, Sunday the 23rd, and I think we're going to be doing the same thing all week. So you better get used to it. So, folks, until next time, keep on painting.